So I'm a nurse, I work lots of night shifts, and I enjoy what I do because, it makes people feel good and I'm taking care of a lot of people. But what I was not expecting was my loving boyfriend, as he calls himself, to be so upset with me saying work's getting in the way of our relationship, I'm working all these long hours, I'm sorry, I'm trying to make us better off so we can get a house and have a family. But then I caught him doing something on our Ring camera, the one that I purchased just to make sure that everything was okay at the house when I was gone, and I'm devastated. I don't know what to do. If anyone told me that my life would be turned upside down by the two people who should watch out for my well-being the most, I would have laughed in your faces and told them no way that would happen. Yeah, I'm wrong. I guess you should never trust anyone anyways. Hey guys, I'm Olivia, 26, and I'm being betrayed by the two most important people in my life. You may think that I'm talking about my parents. I'm not. I'm talking about my boyfriend of 5 years and my best friend of almost 15 years. I'm devastated. I don't know what to do, so here I am asking all of you for what to do before I drive myself insane. I'm a nurse. I took up my first job 5 years ago, and I had just graduated from nursing school and immediately got employed at the hospital where I work now. And that's where I met Tony. I was on duty the day he came into the hospital to treat a work burn. I immediately got so attracted to Tony because of his humor. He made a joke about his burn, and I snorted so loud that everyone looked at me. He looked at me and smiled, and after he was done treating the burn, he came to me and asked if I wanted to go grab a coffee. He waited until I had my lunch break, and we went to go to the coffee house, the one right next to the hospital. We got talking, and he tells me that he was a construction worker. So we talked until my break was over, and he asked me for my number. I gave it to him. And we met again a few days later, and about 3 weeks later he asked me out, and I said yeah. Well, that was 5 years ago. We moved in together 2 years later, and I thought life could not get any better. I was happy. My best friend Emma had been a very big part of my life for a long time. We met in middle school and have been really good friends since then. She began a baker right after we graduated college, and I went to nursing school. She used to stop by the hospital whenever she was just going to drop me baked goods, and I have to admit it helped me a lot. Eventually, I was assigned night shift after 3 years of working at the hospital, and my workload doubled. I started working the night shifts, and at first it seemed easy. Easy to manage everything outside work, and I made time to see Tony during the day after I woke up from working my shift, and I made time to hang out with Olivia when I had days off. It's been a long time since then, and I've been working night shifts for 2 years now. At first, everything was good. But about 6 months ago, Tony and I fought about how I was never around when he was. He also said that he just hated how I was never awake when he was, and I was asleep when he was around. My shifts are from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., so the arrangement causes an argument. I told him I was going to see what I could do to make sure that we spent time together, but he just said that there's no point to it, because it's my job. I appreciate it then. I should have looked way better into it, but one day, about 5 months ago, one of our friends texted me and we tried to catch up on everything that we've been missing. Tony and I were friends with other people that we had gone to school with as well as Emma. Well, of course, I was closer to Emma and Tony, but the rest of us were pretty good friends too. I was talking to one of them and she said, well, she saw Emma and Tony the other day at the restaurant. Well, I was surprised to hear this because neither of them told me that they have gone to the restaurant together. At first I said goodbye to my friend and I went home and thought about it, but I soon got distracted because I had a lot of things going on. I got caught up with work and for almost 2 months I had time for nothing else. I was finally able to catch a breather because I had 4 days off from work, and that meant that I could catch up on a lot of things I've not had time for. The day before I went back to work, I decided to get my cleaning done. I like to clean the house myself, so I decided to get that done. I got to arranging Tony's closet, and I got to the back of the closet when I saw a small blue box. I opened it up, and what I saw made me so excited. There was a ring inside, and I'm very sure it was an engagement ring. I screamed, and I was happy it was just me at my home because I didn't want to find out I ruined Tony's surprise. I thought it was about time because Tony and I have been dating for almost 5 years. I figured if we were happy and everything was going all right, I didn't need to worry about the fight that we had. I spent a couple of minutes looking at the ring and something that just caught my eye. I noticed that there was an inscription inside. I turned the ring over and saw Emma. Emma? I was surprised to see this and I wondered what a ring for Emma was doing in Tony's wardrobe. I wanted to ask him immediately, but it could be anything, so I said nothing. I couldn't get it off my mind. However, I started to dig. I didn't want to think about anything awful because Emma was my best friend and there was no way that she could do anything to harm me. A month ago, that completely and utterly changed. So, I decided to trick Tony into saying something about the ring because I looked in the closet and it was gone. I told him I wanted to get a piece of jewelry engraved for Emma and asked him what he thought. I even said something about a ring, whether he would mention something about the one in the closet or not. He simply said he's okay with it and that it was a good idea. So, I tried something else. A month ago, I invited Emma to have dinner with Tony and I, and it was a cover-up to see what Emma's behavior around Tony was, so I would know what to think about what was going on with him. I decided to be extra romantic and kiss Tony every time I got up to pick something up. Other than that, fact that Tony kept making weird faces at me, Emma kept shifting uncomfortably in her seat and even stood up to go to the bathroom when I sat on Tony's lap. I immediately knew that whatever I was thinking, the reality was far worse. The dinner ended, and I knew I had to find other ways to know exactly what was going on. After Emma left, Tony asked me why I was putting myself out like that in front of Emma when we were supposed to just be having dinner. I told him I just missed him, and he said I didn't have to show it like that. He didn't say another word to me till he went to bed, and I was sure something was up. So a week later, I went straight to the department store and got cameras before I went home. When I got home, Tony was awake and ready to leave for work. I left the hospital an hour later so that the store would be open before I got there. I said good morning to Tony and he said good morning back. He assumed that I was going to sleep because I had a long night at work. The moment he left, I set the cameras up in the bedroom, Tony's closet, the kitchen, and in the guest bedroom. It's been 3 weeks since then, and I'm hiding in one of the hospital bathrooms crying because I just watched hours and hours of footage of my boyfriend and best friend kissing and having fun in my home. The house that I pay most of the rent for. I trusted my best friend with so much in life, and she betrayed me like that? I watched her live like she owned the place. She pretty much did everything Tony and I did together. Guys, I'm angry, and I'm hurt. I've never felt so betrayed in my life, and my break will soon be over, and all I want to do is print pictures of my cheating boyfriend and stupid best friend and stand at an intersection screaming their names, telling everyone what they did to me. I mean, what am I supposed to do? If my job did not mean so much to me, I would just be on my way to them right now because I'm really angry. I wish I had someone who I could tell this to, but instead, here I am talking to the interweb and strangers on the internet. Because if my boyfriend wasn't having affairs with my best friend, I would be crying right here now. I need to know what to do. How am I supposed to go home to someone who's been cheating on me for God knows how long? What do I do? Because I want to get back at them and I want revenge. I want it bad. I want them to know that what they did to me was horrible. What are your suggestions? Please, just try to be nice to me. Don't kick me when I'm already down. Updates. Number 1. Did I make a mistake bringing my problem to the internet? Many of you were mean even though I asked you to be nice to me. I don't even consider it a mistake or a crime that I do a good job. Besides, the job that I have is exactly what's paying most of the bills. So no, I'm not going to listen to what any of you say about me prioritizing my job over the relationship. Tony was my priority and I loved him. What I can't believe is the fact that while I was worrying about how to spend time with him, he was spending it with my best friend. And for her, well, I haven't replied to any of her texts for the last 2 weeks since I posted here, and I'll just blame it on being very, very busy. See, I've actually been talking to Lily, my coworker, every time during our night shift together. She saw me crying in the bathroom, and she was the only person I could rant to. I told her everything that was going on, and she helped me get my act together. Since then, she's been the closest thing I've had to a friend. It was easy to talk to her because she saw me crying, and I would have talked to one of my other friends, but how am I supposed to face them when the two people I'm supposed to be closest to are the ones betraying me? I'm ashamed even though I did nothing wrong. I told Lily a week ago that I wanted to get back at them, but I just didn't know how I was going to do it. She tells me that she's seen someone expose their cheating partners in the funniest way she's ever seen. She tells me to try it out and see if it would get Tony to confess about the affair that he's been having with Emma. Remember how I told y'all Emma was a baker, right? Well, I used that to my advantage because 2 days ago, after I got back from my night shift, I slept without waking Tony up, and I didn't answer when he tried to wake me. I wasn't asleep when he left, but I didn't want to talk to him, and my work has been making it easy. A few minutes after he left, I brought out my laptop and started to watch the footage from the night before. I saw them, as usual, and I was very irritated, but I was looking for something. I didn't find anything in the footage except the fact that she had been in my house living my life. I decided to search the house instead, and I was lucky. Okay, this will sound disgusting, but I had to try something. I found Emma's underwear in the guest bedroom, and I baked it into an apple pie. I said it was disgusting, so hey, don't judge me. I put the pie on the kitchen island and left a note saying I made a pie, and went for my night shift before Tony got back. I spent a lot of time in between my ward, watching the camera, and as much as I expected to see something else, what I got was way too good. Emma and Tony, they got into a fight about seeing her underwear after he had eaten part of the pie. I watched as she kept on saying that she didn't make the pie. Between laughing and being disgusted, I realized something. Why would he be asking her about the pie when it was on the island before he left for work? Why did he think that she made the pie when I was the last person in the home? He didn't say anything to me about it, and I realized that he thought Emma made it. Well, I'm not gonna say anything without some more proof, so, I'm just doing the next thing Lily told me. Maybe I'll find something useful to confront the two traitors when time comes. Anyways, I'll keep you guys updated. Update number 2. Hey everybody, it's me again for another update. I've cried my eyes out again today, and I've cried so much that I don't think that I have anything left in me to feel anything except anger. So remember how I said that Lily had told me that there was something else I could try? I did it 5 days ago, and I've seen the worst thing ever. I just couldn't take it anymore today. I installed a spy app on Tony's phone immediately after I got back from work. He was asleep, and I knew this because I had seen Emma leave around 3 a.m. I didn't need to do much because he's a heavy sleeper. He snores. And I could unlock his phone with his fingerprint. I linked the app to my laptop while I was wondering what this whole thing had made me become. I quickly took my mind off of it because I just had to know what was going on exactly. So, I read a lot of text between Tony and Emma. Tony and Emma slept together 5 months ago. As I would find out, the reason Tony had picked a fight with me about my job was because he had slept with Emma the night before. She had come over to drop off something for me, and one thing led to the other. I was disgusted to find this out, and I thought my crying then was enough, but it wasn't. I read further, and there were multiple texts about how Emma was so jealous of me. I wondered what there was to be jealous of in working night shifts until my eyes turned into bags. She said a lot about how I was the one earning the most of our friend group. I thought that hurt, because Emma was supposed to be my best friend, but she was just going ahead and doing something like this to me? What made it worse was the fact that this had been going on for a while. Tony was even worse because he's been using me for a long time. He tells Emma that the only reason he was still with me was because I paid most of the bills. I thought I was doing him a favor because it would have been hard for him to pay for most of it, and I had the money, so, I did more. I've been taken for granted so much that I didn't even believe what I was reading. I'm guessing you still want to know why I cried again today. Well, after he didn't say anything about the pie and fought with Emma instead of asking me, I knew something was up, that's for sure. I almost passed out on the bathroom floor when I discovered that Emma had a key to my home. She had access to my home when I wasn't there. What made it worse was that Tony had told her on multiple occasions that he would ask to see if I was home before she went there and made dinner for both of them. All this time, I thought that Tony was the nicest man for checking up on me at work and asking where I was, and I've been so stupid and now I'm just getting to do what they least expect. I'm going to pay them back big time, because besides betraying me, they've disrespected my privacy as well, and I will, of course, be back for an update, baby. Update number 3. Hey guys, it's me again. It's been 2 weeks since I last posted, and I'm here because I did one of the craziest things I've ever attempted. But before that, a quick recap. I decided I was going to get back at my boyfriend and best friend for having an affair, so I baked a pie with Emma's underwear. However, I didn't do much except cause a fight between them, so I kicked it up a notch, baby. 2 weeks ago, I finally called my mom and told her all I knew about the affair they've been having, and my mother made me feel better, but she tells me that I had to let it go. I asked why she even thought about that after I told her that Tony had been using me to get out of bills. She told me that it was better to just confront them about it and walk away because trying to get back at them was affecting me and it's showing. I asked her what she meant. She tells me, and she's right. I'd lost weight, I wasn't eating, I didn't sleep because all I could think about every waking second was how I was going to get back at those two. My mother also told me that Emma was my best friend and I had to forgive her. She said that it was okay to be angry at her for what she did, but I shouldn't let a man come between us. There's no need for me to tell you that I didn't listen to her, because like I said earlier, I did a crazy thing. I was too hurt and heartbroken not to make them pay for what they've done. So when I went for my shift a week ago, I asked Lily what I should do next since the underwear thing did not work out. She said that she wasn't sure, so we began to check around. When we were doing that, I saw someone post a screenshot of her boyfriend cheating, so I got an idea from there. I took the footage from the camera. I saved some really clear images of Emma and Tony. I also took screenshots of the text between the two of them. I compiled those puppies into a flash drive and printed the screenshots onto paper. The rest was quite easy. Yesterday was my last day off, so I went to the postal office. I made 2 batches of the screenshots and added a flash drive to each pile. I put them in 2 boxes along with letters and explained what the contents in the box were for. I mailed one pile to Tony's parents and the other to Emma's parents. Inside the letters, I told them what had happened and what the content of the boxes were. I told them not to say anything to their children because I had not confronted them yet. I just wanted them to know what's been going on. I was even so desperate to expose the 2 of them myself that I told them that I would not forgive them if they said anything to their children before I'm ready. I told them to give me a few weeks before they talked to them. That one part of my crazy plan, well, all of this will come out soon. I just need them to pay. I'll keep you posted on the progress. Update number 4. If I still have a relationship after all this, I'm going to end it myself. Except I'm pretty sure that I don't after everything that's happened in the past 3 weeks. I got a week off last week after I asked my supervisor, as I needed to do something really important. I started planning a dinner. I was finally over the shame of my friend group finding out about all that's happened between Emma and Tony. I was just angry and felt betrayed at this point, so I wanted to get it all over with. I texted my friend group and told them that I wanted to host a dinner so we could catch up. When Emma offered to help, I told her she could not help because I had a surprise for her, so I couldn't show her anything about the dinner. Tony was already out of the option because he had to work anyways, and I asked Lily for help one more time. I printed pictures of Emma and Tony kissing from the camera and had them shaped into a placeholder. I had the food ready, and when they all arrived yesterday, we talked for a while in the living room before we went out of the porch to the back of the house. I told everyone to sit and put Emma and Tony side by side. As we all sat down to eat, I tell everyone to raise a glass. I immediately tell them to unfold the placeholders because they contained a surprise I prepared for my best friend Emma. Tony and Emma immediately knew where the pictures came from. Others were confused and didn't know what the pictures were, so I made a speech. Hey guys, if you were confused about the pictures you're looking at, that'll be my boyfriend and best friend kissing in my house just a few weeks ago. Emma and Tony didn't say anything, and our friend group was stunned and kept on exclaiming. I told them everything that they did behind my back and how I found out, and I told them that the reason I had to tell them this was because I didn't want anyone to lie when I did nothing wrong. Tony didn't wait for me to stop talking before he suddenly started yelling about how I was never around. I was always at my stupid job. So I asked him why he called it a stupid job when it was paying for most of the bills. He said he didn't care and that I should have left the job when it stopped me from doing my job as a girlfriend. I was dumbfounded because I didn't think there could be such a reason. He said I never made him feel loved, so he found the next best thing. He stormed out of the house and our friend group tore into Emma for betraying me after being friends for so long. She responded very rudely and said if only I hadn't become more successful than the rest of them, she would not have been so jealous. That wasn't any reason for betraying me and sleeping with my man, but I had nothing else to say or do. I was tired of the whole thing and I just wanted the dinner to be over. Emma left and our friends helped me clean up. Tony never came back and neither was I expecting him to. I needed my peace and I wanted to grieve because I lost both my friend and boyfriend. I have one more thing to do, but I'll leave it for tomorrow. Final updates. You guys have been so nice. I thought I was going to come under heat for what I did, but most of you seem to agree. I apologized for staying away for almost 5 weeks. It's been a lot. So I said I had one more thing to do, so the next day after dinner I packed Tony's belongings and loaded them into the car. I took his PlayStation 5 to the hospital because that was where we first met, and I took his laptop to the restaurant where he first asked if he could kiss me. If you must know, I did this because I wanted to show him how he destroyed the wonderful relationship that we had. But having an affair with Emma, huh? Speaking of Emma, I dropped the rest of Tony's things at her doorstep and left without saying anything. As expected, he was there. He came to the door and tried to talk to me, but I wanted nothing. I left and slept for the whole day. I went back to work the next week, and 2 weeks ago, Emma's parents called me and said that I had to come see them. I told them I'm busy, but they begged me to make time. I went there a few days ago and I met Emma, Tony, and Tony's parents. There was a long talk about how I needed to forgive them, but I wasn't paying attention. I wanted absolutely nothing to do with them, you know? They apologized for what they did, but I know they didn't mean it. If they were sorry and they cared about how I felt, they would not have done anything like that in the first place. I told their parents it's fine, and I walked out without saying anything. I want to move on, you know? Everything reminds me of what these people did to me in this house. Do you think I should move out? I can easily get another apartment, especially if I'm going to live alone for a while. Again, thank you all for your encouraging words and support. Guys, I want to know your thoughts about this comment because a lot of people hated this comment. It says, why in God's name did you have to involve their parents? You did not only stop there, you took your ex-boyfriend's possessions and scattered them around. It's evil. It's going to mean a lot of work for him, but what if they get stolen? These things cost a lot of money you spread around, so if they do get stolen, that's on you. You don't need to move, honestly. You just keep wasting your time and energy on something that was your fault. Just accept it and move on with your life. Let the man be happy, and next time, maybe don't work so much. Wow, so I do want to know your thoughts about that comment, guys. Drop it down below. My name's Mr. Reddito. I narrate stories like this every day. I hope to see you guys tomorrow, and just remember, it's cool to be kind. Peace.